It is another beautiful Saturday about Max Carcas. He better be a fucking superstar because if Wyatt Langford goes out and hits nukes for the Rangers and Max Carcas do shit, I could buy a dragon. That would
where?
You had to invest in one business with half your winnings. What are you investing the money into?
Easy, Pornhub.
What the?
That's why you don't do drugs, kid. Next question. Is Michigan gonna win the Natty? Because I feel like Michigan's going to
Gonna need to run it down their fucking throat and will.
$200 you lost last year?
300.
People would think of Jamal Murray and he would just have been a role player.
What? What's going on, people? We are back. It is another Wednesday evening, which can only mean one thing. We're at the Tide Sports Podcast, live and in action. We have the NFL draft to recap. We got the NBA playoffs still in full swing, as well as the NHL playoffs. A little bit of baseball, a little bit of picks, and there's your pod. We got all four of the fellas that should be joining you today, but right now, you're starting with three. You got McDilly, of course, and we have Tycho, and we got Donnie. All three of the fellas ready to talk about some sports.
Oh, let's get to it, eh? There's a lot of stuff today.
Let's get right into it. We got a hefty podcast, so we're gonna try to keep it moving. We're gonna kick things off with the NFL draft. So the NFL draft is something that happened, I believe it was last Thursday, kicked off. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Last Thursday, the 3-day event concluded in Green Bay. Was a little bit of a shit show for those that attended. Construction under the parking lot while the draft was going on. Didn't have that finished by the draft. That really sucked. Only one entrance. So if you walked in any other way, you were making a 2-mile trip around to the one entrance you had to get into. And then after an hour and a half of day one, they pretty much stopped letting people in and just said, go hang out in Lambeau Field. So, interesting if you did attend in person, but let's get to the headlines. We're not going to waste your time spending 20 minutes on here. We're just going to talk about the biggest things that happened in this draft. So, biggest thing that happened right away, the Titans selected Cam Ward number 1 overall. This was expected, but then immediately after that, the Jaguars traded with the Cleveland Browns to move up to the number 2 spot. And a lot of people had Travis Hunter going to Cleveland, but with this trade, he landed in Jacksonville. Thoughts, fellas?
He seemed extremely happy to land in Jacksonville over Cleveland. Watching him run down the tunnel and smack the Jacksonville thing. Granted, who knows? He might have done that for Cleveland anyway. But to me, it sounded.
Let me help you out. He's from there.
That's why.
Yeah, he played in Jacksonville State.
It wasn't for no reason. He was born in Florida. He wanted to be in Florida.
Well, yeah. Yes, that's what I say. You seem much
I'll
happy
say this.
To go there.
You got you're as bad as Jacksonville is, and you got a guy like Travis Hunter that says, I want to play in Jacksonville. Yep, I'm moving up to pick him. I don't give a fuck what it takes. He wants to play for us. Yep, we're taking him. I like it for Jacksonville. I think that they were in no position to take any skill player whatsoever, but hey, whatever. Guy that kid wants to play for you, you can't not take him.
Yeah, and Jacksonville already said, and they've already put him on the roster as a wide receiver / CB. So they're going to use him as the unicorn.
Oh, they need to use him as both.
Yeah.
So one team that desperately needs both.
They're going to use him as the unicorn player that, quite frankly, he is. The next thing that I want to get into.
People called Trevor Lawrence a unicorn in college football, too, because he was like one of a kind. So now they got 2 unicorns. Can they win something?
Yeah,
anything? Maybe just a division?
I think a lot of people are curious about that. The next thing that we will talk about, because he is the player that if you watched the podcast last year, you could probably clip me and Tyler saying Ashton Genty maybe 70, 80, 90 times. Most talked about player by far. So he went to the Raiders at pick number 6. Tyler, he was your boy all year last year. I have to hear from you how you feel about this.
Quite frankly, Dylan, I need a Raiders jersey.
That's how we're feeling.
Look, this is where I become kind of a Jesse, where I say, I'm not a fan of the team, I'm a fan of the player.
Right.
I think that it might suck a little bit for him because I swear to God, like me and Jesse kind of agreed when we were talking about the draft while it was happening. Do the Raiders just assume they have a good O-line? Because they don't.
They don't.
Why did they not draft O-line? Anyways, it's going to be a rough year because they're going to have to realize that they have the skill player but don't have the line. But then they'll figure that out and he'll be fine. So, yeah.
You know what else is
Ashton
crazy is
okay.
that before we get to
Look
you,
at your
Donnie,
jersey.
before we get to you, Donnie, and what I think is crazy is he is now the second highest paid NFL running back in the league after being drafted $31.8 million fully guaranteed.
Jesus, holy smokes. That I didn't
Look,
know. My
That's
God.
only crazy because running backs just don't get taken that high.
No, and
That's
they don't get.
that's
yeah.
why he gets that much money.
Look, they must be looking at him as like a Jahmyr
First
Gibbs
round.
type-ish player. Whereas he's got that spark. He can bring it to a team for sure. And I agree with Ty. They don't have an O-line. They don't. So it's going to be a rough for go to start this, but he's good enough to where he can work it out. If he's a smart player. He's agile. He's strong. He can make damage still. He'll be a great running back this year still, I think.
Yeah, I look at
Just
this
because
as-
Vegas is who Vegas is, dude, it would only make sense that the running back that got compared to Michael Myers ends up in Vegas. Sorry.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
look at
not
this
sorry.
Very,
I mean,
look
come
at this
on.
very similar to Kenneth Walker in Seattle because when K9 went to Seattle, they had no O-line, they had no help. He came out there and his explosive runs were pretty much the key factor in that run game and why that offense was somewhat watchable because that was Russ's final year, his rookie year. So that's kind of where I would compare Genty to in this situation, but that O-line is definitely priority number one for him to perform. Jesse.
Yes. Hello.
Happy you joined us. We've literally only talked about Travis Hunter and Ashton Genty. So if you have any thoughts, just go ahead.
I think overall, sorry, different computer. Uh-oh, I made a mistake. Travis Hunter, I think Jacksonville lost the trade. I feel like Cleveland took advantage of them. But I think Travis Hunter would be a good player. And they need to save. We picked him second overall.
Yep.
And we don't care how long of a career he has. We're going to try it. I'm going to make this kid do what he wants to do and make him back up his talk. If he gets injured first season, telling him he can't do that shit again.
Yeah, he's a franchise player immediately, 100%.
Makes it the whole season. Hey, we might be able to do something with this. But
Yeah, Jesse, I was telling them they got a unicorn in Travis Hunter now. They said Trevor Lawrence was a unicorn when he was coming out of college. Can they do something with two unicorns?
all I know is they've given T-Law some weapons, but only half of them have panned out for real.
And
Yeah.
then over on the other side, the Raiders, they take Ashton Genty. And I know that you and I were the two that were discussing this in the group chat saying, did they just assume that they have an O-line? Because
Technically, this is pretty much the same O-line that Josh Jacobs was able to lead the league in, but they have added a couple younger pieces. I just think the team was so ass you couldn't tell because they had no running back for real. Like Abdullah and I forget who else it was, but they didn't have a backfield. So the more I think about it, I'm like, okay, you're probably going to give Genty like a Derrick Henry amount of touches.
I could see
Yep.
that.
If a
100%.
player can handle it in this
He's
draft,
the second highest paid running back in the league already.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get hurt, he's going to be a fantasy weapon. People will take him in round one.
I'm not going to lie, fantasy aside, we have to see what he does. He averaged 189 yards a game.
Come on now.
Like, let's see what happens. If anybody knows how to use a running back, it's Pete.
Also,
Even though,
fucking facts.
You know, Super Bowl.
Except for that one time.
Yeah. You know,
I don't wanna
At
talk
one
about
time, he probably
We're
should
not talking about it. We're not talking about it.
you won't do that in Vegas.
Next thing that we have to talk about is the first shock of the draft, which was the Chicago Bears on the clock. And why did I just get cut off? What just happened? I looked up and the screen was like blurry.
Because you can't hear shit. It's
Oh.
booing.
Oh. First shock of the draft.
You
Yeah.
said the Bears were on the clock, man.
Then the Chicago Bears took Colston Loveland, tight end from Michigan, which had a lot of fans scratching their heads because it's not that Colston Loveland isn't a high-profile tight end in this draft. It is just that you had a better one. You had, as many people would put, at the Swiss Army knife of the draft, which was Tyler Warren, and you left him go 4 picks later to the Colts. Jakob, we'll start with you because you're the only person that I heard actually defend this pick. And Jakob's not here. Okay, so the next thing that we'll go to is Tyler. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, bro. The Bears gonna bear, man. This is just most Chicago thing you could have possibly done. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Listen, unless they were like cast iron in the oven, deep cooking, I understand it when it's like, okay, you feel like you have a good enough O-line and you don't want this like Swiss Army knife kind of freak of a tight end.
Which is crazy because they've never even seen this O-line play together. They have like 3 new pieces.
Right. And if you just want like a route running possession tight end that can also block, like those 3 simple things is what you know you're getting out of Colston. And the reason I say unless they were like playing this really long game is in their 7th round with like their last pick, it took a running back whose main gig at 5'8" is like blocking. Terrible RAS score.
And he won't see the field.
But he's a phenomenal blocker. And their running back room is small as shit.
He's a 7th-round pick, and he won't see the field.
Hey, injuries happen.
I don't know why you brought up the 7th-round pick, not the fact that their 2nd-round pick, they brought up Luther Burden. But anyways.
He's a wide receiver, and we already know about him. I wanted to tell them about somebody they might not know. Because he's a 7th
Because
round.
they're not going to know him, and he's not going to play.
Hey,
That was
you never know.
I'm going to be honest,
Hey,
it was
you
so irrelevant to say.
never know. He could play.
It's a running back.
You're
Running
right.
backs
If
get
enough
injured.
people get
Brock
hurt-
Purdy plays, God damn it.
Yeah, if 4 people get hurt in front
You know,
of him,
Brock Purdy
Purdy
plays.
plays.
Now leave it
So-
at that.
yeah.
49ers. They could have used a 4th running back. In
Well, the
multiple
49ers
I think they
is
did.
different.
4th and a 5th and a 6th.
That's
I'm
not fair.
just
You know what the
saying.
49ers do? They just make running backs good. That's not fair.
And Ben Johnson likes his running back running game. And I'm just saying, if they were playing the long game, there were so many ifs in this. I don't know why you're taking it up the butt like this.
There were like 3 ifs.
Like, come on.
A lot of
This man
ifs.
goes, but I will
There's a
say
bunch.
their 7th-round pick. Okay.
Yeah, we already know about every other pick. Everyone's talked about all the good players they have.
I don't want to be the guy to say nobody cares.
We've
but
heard
someone's
about the
gotta
good
say it.
guys.
Come on. It's the Bears.
Do we have any other 7th-round picks you want to talk about before I get to the next
No,
one?
5th round pick that'll pop up later.
All right. Next thing we'll talk about is the second quarterback that was taken off the board off of pick number 1 was Jackson Dart going to the New York Giants. We won't spend too much time on this, but I think we all overall give this one a thumbs up. I think we all kind of like this.
Yeah, this one's good.
Okay.
This is good.
Right decision.
See another Zach Wilson
Yeah.
or that one guy that creeps up and then they're like, damn, he wasn't that guy.
Yeah. And then we had another quarterback who was drafted on day 2 by the New Orleans Saints, but then 30 seconds after he was told to go fuck himself, and that was Shedeur Sanders, and this caused quite a bit of controversy. So there was a prank call that occurred to Shedeur Sanders during draft day, where he thought he was being drafted. Turns out it was a prank call, but here's where the story gets interesting, folks. Turns out it wasn't just any kid. It was the son of Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich, who had his computer open where his son found the notes, found the phone for the player, made the prank call, and then was forced by Papa to apologize on Instagram. And it was announced today that the NFL has fined the Falcons $250,000 and specifically defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich $100,000 over the prank call.
I mean, good. Look, I mean, I don't know why anybody was surprised. Like, clearly it was someone's kid or something, like, because they had to have access to the information. So
Right.
I'm not surprised that it's someone's kid, but of course it's the Dirty Birds, man. Dirty Bird's getting some Dirty Bird shit. That's all it is.
That was some grimy shit.
All I know is that he's grounded for the rest of his fucking life, dude. 100K, 100K. You bro, you know how many chores you got to do to work off 100K for pops?
$100,000 is a lot of money.
Ground? Nah, they're gonna be coming to get me at my job the next day because he's showing up to bruised and beaten. Yeah, I said it. I don't care. Boy, you done lost me 100K. I'll be surprised if I don't get fired. And you posted it. You couldn't have tried to make them go through the other 31 teams first. You said, I'm going to post it.
It literally got posted on the internet.
Like, bro, no videos.
You're sitting there saying, that's you, isn't it? Yep, that's you. Stupid ass.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but then eventually the Cleveland Browns drafted not just Shedeur Sanders, but also we got Donnie back. Johnny, you all good?
Yes, found it figured out. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. And not only did the Cleveland Browns draft Shedeur Sanders, but they also drafted another Heisman finalist in Dillon Gabriel. So now that quarterback room moves from 3 to 5. They have Deshaun Watson with a torn Achilles, Kenny Pickett as the backup, then Joe Flacco as the 3, as it was on the sheet. But now you have 2 rookie quarterbacks that have been drafted. So there is a 5-man QB room in Cleveland. Thank God DTR got the fuck out of there.
Down to 4.
Oh, yeah, because he's got a torn Achilles.
Yeah. No, because Kenny Pickett got cut.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
When the fuck did this happen?
They didn't pick up his 5th-year option, and that's what he's on.
Oh.
He's on. They're not going to pay him and keep him.
Yeah, smart considering that they drafted 2 quarterbacks. I wouldn't pick up a 5th-year option on Kenny
So you
Pickett.
have battered and probably won't play at the beginning of the season, Deshaun Watson. You have Joe Fleck, who's simply there to win games, and now he's like a teacher.
He's simply there to win games that you shouldn't win.
Yeah. And then he's going to teach Gabriel and Shedeur, and whichever one of them comes out on top might touch the field before the end of the season.
Thank God Travis Hunter didn't go there, because if he was sitting here looking at what we're looking at, he would be so upset. This is why bro came up to the podium and said some Duval. And then just because he's from that hometown, it's because he knows this was going to be a shit show. And I would be
He
happy
knew
too.
that he avoided this, and that is all he needed.
I would be very happy. Donnie, any thoughts?
Yeah, I was real happy to see him fall down as far as he did. At the same time, I'd never wish it. I don't wish it upon my worst enemy to go to Cleveland. Feel bad for him in that respect.
Yeah,
as we all do.
I agree with that. Does anyone else have anything on the draft and the Lions, on just any thoughts in general? Those are the biggest headlines we just talked about. So, if there's anything else that you want to talk about before we move on?
So
I felt good and bad both about the Lions picks, good and bad. And I've realized I just need to wait because Brad cooks and I don't know anything. So I'm just going to wait and see if they're good. And then when they are all good, I'm just going to be like, well, we did it again. So I got nothing.
I rock with the draft. I think it was a good draft. But I did want Jihad. I can't lie. I wanted him. But I think Williams will work out.
Yeah, I can't lie. It stung a little bit when the Eagles took him. Yeah. Outside of that, though.
Yeah, it was okay. So yeah, with that, we will move off of the draft and we will move over to playoffs. So, basketball?
Yes.
Back out to Allen. His 3-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining. Lillard, long range 3, and it's good! At the buzzer! Damian Lillard! The lob. Again! Oh, what a monster jam by DeAndre Jordan!
All right. So the NBA playoffs are here in full swing. Some teams are eliminated, but some teams are still alive. We are kicking it off with some teams that are dead. Nope, we're not getting there yet. The Cleveland Cavaliers took on the Miami Heat. Just to sum up this series, the final game The Cleveland Cavaliers broke a NBA playoff record by the biggest win margin in a playoff game in 30 years or 40 years. I can't remember the exact number, but they won by 52 points against the Heat. And
This is why the play-in is stupid as fuck. No one can tell me otherwise.
Yep.
Did anyone else have the Heat winning a game? I don't think we did. So
Yeah, I thought they.
God, no,
I don't
they
know if
were
anybody
10
had the Heat
seed.
winning a half.
I thought the Heat could pull out one game. I'll stand on my toes. Listen, when they went down 3-0, I knew it was cooked, but I didn't think they would not give a fuck. Like, okay, I get it. You're gonna have to fly back to Cleveland. Damn. Y'all did not play a single minute of that game series. 52 points. You can't look me in the eyes and tell me you tried to play. I don't believe you. I won't. I won't. They weren't even trying to win. They weren't even trying to compete.
They were actively trying to lose, as far as I'm concerned.
I just don't see how the NBA can look at a 10-seeded team and be like, yeah, we'll give them a chance still. No.
Yeah,
Oh,
they can play.
The only way Miami was ever winning one game in this series is that they never traded Jimmy. Then they might have gotten one game.
yeah, and I said in 30, 40 years, I apologize. It was in NBA history. No one team has ever won by 55 points in a game clinching.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
It's the playoffs.
Not supposed to be my
Yeah,
50 fucking-
You have to you look at this Pistons Knicks series and you see the scores in that game. They're all close. Defensive battles, people miss a shot, whatever you want to call it. It's a close game.
Right.
And then you go to look at these 1-8 series games and it's just a blowout. There's no reason any of these teams should even be playing each other. Make it a 16 playoff.
Sadly, I couldn't agree more with you. All right, next series that we got to talk about is honestly another series that we all predicted correctly. Orlando came home, won a game at home. That was all that they did. The Celtics came back, smacked them 107-98, and then smacked them 120-89. The defending champions put them away in 5, like we all predicted.
Yeah, there's not much to say here. I mean, everybody, if you looked at the last, if you listened to the last pod, you know that this is exactly what everybody here agreed on. Is they were gonna probably squeak out one game because Paulo will have his game and they'll win, and that'll be the only game they get, and that's all they got, and we're done.
100%.
Do I wish it went longer? Of course, I would have loved to see the Magic fight more, but
Not gonna lie.
all right.
Nobody check Paulo. That's what that series proved to me. Because even though they couldn't win more than one game, Paulo and Franz is going to be something special.
You believe that?
They hold their heads up.
What do you think it is? What do you think it is? Another piece that they need to acquire?
I don't know. Suggs was injured, so that mattered.
I think if they could find like a solid guard.
Yeah. Like the way we need maybe a Franz, they definitely need them like a good Dennis Schroeder, Cade, a nice point guard.
Don't need to be no superstar, but yeah, someone solid, someone to run the
It doesn't
point.
have to come from our team, but somebody else.
Just somebody.
Take somebody from a different team. Just, those are just examples.
All right, next series that we have to talk about is not an elimination yet. It is actually, no, it is. I moved them. Sorry, I'm backwards. It is another elimination, but you got somebody who was right. You got somebody who jumped on the ship, and you got 2 people that were fucking wrong. Let's talk about it. The Indiana Pacers took on the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I will say this. Damian Lillard played one game. They won that one game. I understand that is going to be what a lot of people say. But in the game that Damian Lillard didn't play, Giannis, where is your boys? You're looking to your left for Chris Middleton, and you see Kyle Kuzma. You're probably like, fuck. And that's a big reason why the Pacers came out here, won not just every game, but every game with grit, every game with a back and forth type of atmosphere, especially with that game 5. I mean, Gary Trent Jr., what a fumble, you bum. But, yeah.
Yeah. Let me speak my piece real quick. I don't jump ships. It's just not my thing. Not gonna lie, this Indiana team is playing a lot better than I thought they would. Even though they came in super hot. So maybe I should have gave them more credit. Way? Okay. Giannis can actually be blamed for this game, especially game 5. You missed 6 free throws, and you proceeded to get absolutely worked by Halliburton for the game 1.
Mm-hmm.
Not okay.
I mean, is it getting worked if he just run by him?
He didn't know. He didn't just. Yes, actually, it is.
No, it's not. He ran by him.
He didn't just run by him. He hit him with
That's exactly what he did.
It was in his right hand. He crossed to his left and then went past him.
It's not like Giannis touched earth. He was still right there with him. Halliburton's faster. He ran right by him.
He worked.
No, but that I agree. That would still be
He's a
working him.
6'11".
No, I agree with
player.
Jesse. If he's right there with him and he's still
What are we acting like he's 6'2"?
Worked. Yeah, you got worked.
You are 6'11", bro. Your wingspan is his reach. You're taller than him.
Yeah.
Don't get right in his face because
Yeah.
you can block his shot.
Play back and then block. Yeah.
What?
I agree
No,
with Jesse.
he got worked.
He got worked.
I don't think he
He
got
was
worked.
soft because he a guy.
I mean, he did.
Did he get beat? Yeah.
Bro,
But he didn't get
Did
worked.
he work? They're fucking. You're just.
I didn't
you're
say he got-
nitpicking now,
I didn't-
dog. You're
You
nitpicking.
guys are making it sound like Giannis fell on his back.
Bro, it's the
No,
final
we're
play
making
of the
it sound
game.
like we're making
We're
it sound
acting like he
yeah,
gave an easy bucket away.
yeah. We're not
He
trying to
barely
say that he got his
contested the
ankle
shot.
snatched or he touched earth. We're just trying to say that on that
You
he
have
got
to
worked.
contest a shot better than that. You're Giannis. You're the heart of the team.
Yeah. Let's
And
talk
the-
about the Bucks. This is actually good because Damian Lillard is 34 years old. He may not play again till goddamn 2027 because he might be out next year. Okay. They do not have a first round pick in this year's draft. They have the least favorable first round pick swaps for the next year's draft and 2028 and 2029 and 2030. They do not own any first round picks in 2027 or 2028. Brooke Lopez, Bobby Portis, Gary Trent Jr., Kevin Porter Jr., Ryan Rollins, all free agents, and Giannis is the big question mark on the table. So the Bucks are in a spot.
They have an easy choice. It's either trade Giannis and save your franchise, or suffer the consequences. and
Correct.
suffer
You
years
trade,
to come.
and that's why I kind of want to bring Tyler in here because Tyler was the one who initially brought this up. But now if you trade Giannis, it's to say, hey, we're not going to have any good players to draft unless we get lucky with a steal. So maybe we pick up some first-round picks for Giannis. Sorry, I didn't know he was just watching videos. But, yeah, maybe we
He's
pick up a
watching
first-round
I
pick
think he's
for
watching the last play of the
Giannis.
Bucks game to see what side to take.
Oh. But so yeah, Giannis is now officially looking like he could be out of Milwaukee, which is something that a lot of people thought was just crazy.
Hey.
But after everything I just said, with all the free agents leaving, with no first round picks for like 4 out of the next 5 drafts, I mean, like Jakob said, you might have to
Hey.
do it if you want to have a franchise for the next couple of years.
Hey, asshole. Giannis got worked.
Yeah, he did get worked.
I just watched it.
Yeah, he did.
Halliburton just
3v1, you lose.
I think you don't remember the play.
Yeah,
Nah.
you lose.
What kind of person am I if I'm not going to stand on my head on this? All right, I get it. You guys all have a side. I got my opinion.
I know,
It
but
looks
you
a little
lose.
different to you.
It's 3-1. You lose.
Well, yeah, because worked, in my opinion, means he got fucking sauced. He didn't. He got ran by.
Then why'd you use the word?
Well,
sauce? I'm
what does
playing.
that
He
mean?
didn't get
Like,
sauced.
you have
You guys
to-
were making it sound like
So- Well, he didn't fall on the ground, but like
He just Jakob has admitted that he has.
He
got
went
worked,
left and
but
the other guy
Jakob
went
will not
right.
Use the
He got
specific
ran by.
word "worked."
Bro, getting ran by is like
Against Giannis.
that's
He
the
ran
play,
by.
right?
He ran right by him. That's
That's
all
the
that
play we're
happened right
talking
there.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he worked him.
he
For the
ran
top
right
play?
by him.
no.
Left,
Look at that.
1-2.
right.
I was like just running by
Right
him.
there, right
He
there.
ran
That's
right by
working
him.
him.
Bro, you're
A double
fucking nah.
crossover is
You're
working him.
rage bait.
You play enough 2K to know that.
I'm not listening.
Exactly, which is why I'm so confident in what I say. It's not like he got crossed. He didn't get crossed. He didn't
Yes,
get
he
He
worked.
did at the
No, he didn't.
crossover, and then he. Okay, it's 3-1. You lose. We're moving on.
You're the ones that are mad about it.
What I think is crazy is the Pacers literally
Pacers
posted
down
this shit.
3. Halliburton's
All
got the ball.
3 buzzer
Halliburton
beaters.
rises up.
They said 3 buzzer beaters against the Bucks. Overrate that.
100%.
It's a 3 and it's fouled. You have got
I got to finish it out now. I mean,
yeah.
I went through all the work to get it.
Halliburton has it.
Didn't he play the winner of our series?
Beverly, he splits the defense.
Yeah.
His little shot, good, and a foul.
Tell you what, I don't want any part of Tyrese Halliburton. That's what I don't
Also,
want.
Tyler, as
I
we're
want
going
all
into
of
the next,
Tyrese Halliburton. I want
as
all
we're
of
going,
it.
as we're going into the next series, Ty, if you could make the video I just sent you into like an MP4 thing, so you can put it on later for MLB. I'd appreciate that. You're a good man. But real quick, we will.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. We will get into the next series. Don't worry. I'll still make sure you can talk about this series. We have the Detroit Pistons taking on the New York Knicks. This series does not have anybody eliminated.
Hey, yo, what the fuck did you send me, bro? Y'all need to see this.
Yeah. So, this series is not ended. This series is still competitive, but let's talk about how we got there. So me and Tyler actually had the unfortunate pleasure of attending game number 4, where the first half of the game was some of the worst basketball I've ever watched. Tyler was looking at me at halftime like, why are you here? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you didn't make a noise. I was like, did you watch what I watched? There was much to say. But the second half happened, and the Pistons came out, and they said, you know what? We want to win. Third quarter, pretty even. Fourth quarter, came out ahead. Became a 12-point Pistons lead, and then all hell broke loose. Jalen Brunson came in, Cat came in, and it got very, very bad. Cat started making fucking shots. Jalen Brunson started getting his buckets, and all of a sudden it came down to the final shot of the game where the Pistons had the ball. Cade Cunningham took the shot, missed the ball. Rebound went to Tim Hardaway in the corner, went for the shot. Should have been a foul. Was not called a foul. Buzzer ran out. And when I say it should have been a foul, that's not just a Pistons fan being a Pistons fan. An hour later, the referees came out and said, yes, we looked at the call, and it should have been a foul. Thanks. Helps nobody. We move into game number 5, where the Pistons took care of business. Cade came out to play. He is averaging 25 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. The last time these numbers were thrown were by Oscar Robinson in 63 people. And him and Azar Thompson were a big piece in getting it done. We now go to game number 6 at LCA tomorrow at 7:30.
Oh boy. This is crunch time. This is the test that all season has been preparing us for. We've proven we can beat this team multiple times. They are nothing new. It's just a matter of, are the refs going to screw us? Can we make some shots in the first half so we're not down by 10 at halftime, or having to make a crazy comeback at some point? Fundamentals. We just gotta play smart, and good things happen.
What are your thoughts going into game number 6? Do you think that we're going to what do you call it? Lock up Brunson and Cat like we did in game 5, or do you think it's going to be a situation of,
if Detroit doesn't follow that same defensive scheme in a way, I get making some adjustments, because obviously the Knicks are going to make adjustments.
Right?
You got to adjust, but at the same time, don't fix what ain't broke. It fucking worked last game.
I agree with that. Jesse?
So, looking at the game, want to shout out Asar, finally providing a level of offense he is capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is really a switch for him, where I don't think the back door, because that's really what it started being, was he was just slipping back, dunking, slip back, dunk, slip back, dunk.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to let that shit slide so easily, but that's going to open a different avenue. What we need is Tim Hardaway and Beasley. If they're going to shoot these threes, they have to be more consistent. They have to.
100% with Malik.
Like, 100%. Tobias is doing his thing. Asar is putting so much into defense that if he gets you 8+, as long as everyone's doing their jobs, we should be smooth. But the Knicks running out of gas, especially Brunson, because he has to play so tough through Schroeder and Thompson. As long as Thompson is following Brunson in the fourth quarters, you're going to be in the game.
Yep. Tycho, you got some thoughts on
Look,
the series?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like the fact that the Pistons have, in playoffs plus regular season, a 1-3 record at home against the Knicks and a 5-1 record on the road against the Knicks. Why can't we fucking play at LCA against the Knicks?
Also, we have
What-
not
what
won
is
a
going
home
on?
playoff game in 10 years.
Yeah, no, that's still on the
a lot
table.
more than that.
You guys
So,
May
Can we,
13th,
can we
2008
do
was
that?
our last home playoff win.
15 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
so I don't like
17.
it at all, actually.
I don't want to be that guy, but I am the only one.
I don't
here
want to be that guy, but my
Knicks and
confidence level is not where it needs to be
six.
if I
did
want
have
us
Knicks
to
and
win.
six.
I
told
want
you
our
that.
confidence level to be a little higher, but it's not.
I have Knicks
Look.
and 6, but I'm leaning towards.
I'll root my
Jesse.
ass off for the Pistons, but I'm not confident.
No,
I'm leaning towards Jesse, or I think it's
Yeah.
going to be now more towards a heartbreaker and
but Dylan, here's the thing.
The vibes I'm getting.
Here's the thing.
That's
This
a
is
very
why
Detroit thing to do.
This is why
Yeah.
I've switched gears. I found new information.
Oh,
The Knicks. So not only
Yeah,
have we
that's a
really
bad
been
play.
able to beat, we've really been able to beat the Knicks in Madison Square Garden.
correct.
The Knicks are 0-4 when it comes to closeout games at home.
Mm.
They cannot close out games at home in the playoffs. Never have. Weird stat. Every time it came up, they can't close it out. So you get a hot Pistons team that happens to win 2 games down 3-1. Knicks got all this stress because their backs against the wall now because you're really going to lose in your house after having a 3-1 lead with the players that play the most starting minutes out of any rotation. You're pushing a 7-game tough series.
Jesse thinks they're gonna pull a Toronto Maple Leaf. That's what he
Yeah.
thinks.
Yeah.
That's what he thinks. I'll keep it nice and short and sweet. He thinks they're gonna Maple Leaf, and honestly, I
Man.
hope they do.
Man, New York Knicks, smelly old kicks. They make me sick. Pistons at 7.
Bro, I heard some shit today that actually broke my heart. Somebody was like, LeBron tried, Luka cried, Shannon lied, Timberwolves in 5. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, that's right.
Oh, and to add, the winner of this series plays
We do love new information.
Boston.
When it seems like
Cleveland is already playing Indiana. That's decided.
Yeah, we were gonna talk about that at the end, but you know,
It was because of the earlier
Yeah, but
comment.
you asked earlier.
It was the earlier comment of saying Pistons Knicks plays.
gotcha. Okay.
All right.
All right. Next thing we got to talk about.
I feel like we already talked about this.
Seeing how other teams in the West, Houston, OKC, obviously have taken another step, do you think that you still have trust in this front office?
They did. They won.
Nah, but they still playing.
I mean, I've been in the second seed too.
No one in the West.
Nah, I'm fine in the West.
And after a 4-game sweep, John Morant is indeed not fine in the West.
He was
Oklahoma-
never fine.
Yeah, Oklahoma City took care of business. It was a situation where we were going into game number 3, and game number 3 they actually looked the best. 21-point lead. Boy, did they throw that down the drain when Ja got hurt. Then we move on to game number 4, and bad news bears. So, Jesse, last podcast, you came on here and essentially said you don't want anything to do with this Grizzlies team right now because you saw the way it was going.
I feel like I specifically said we're not fine in the West.
Yes, that is what you said.
I feel like you added a lot to that, but continue.
Have your thoughts changed at all since the last 2 games after this series? When you were up by 21, for a second, did you think we might be fine, not in the West, but in game 3?
I'd love to watch SGA go down to the team. Just pull out. All right. That's what I'm gonna start with. Okay. Listen, because the Boston Celtics of the West beat the Grizzlies, I'm not that, I wanted to sit here and act like the Grizzlies could do it, but it's OKC's out here hooping. Chet's looking like the guy plus, times 5 who he was expected to be. Like, yeah, he was expected to be a dog, but he's playing out of his mind.
I think when he got hurt, I don't know why, but I feel like they put some metal rods in his legs or something because his fucking leg durability has increased from Slender Man to a
still
tree.
young. He was still young. He grew back stronger.
Yeah, so whatever happened after he tore whatever it was when he was Slender Man coming into the league, that shit is out the window.
So
Upper
I
half
have-
still.
I have this to say for the Grizzlies.
I'm fine in the West.
You knew it was coming. I'm sorry.
Are we fine in the West? I'm sure that's the question you all want answered. I would have to say, when it comes to OKC, no, we're not fine in the West.
We
When
are
it
not.
comes to Golden State, we probably wouldn't have been fine in the West. But anybody else on the board, I'm willing to have been fine in the West. We need more. But Ja,
Do you have any thoughts on that press conference after when he was like, they did? What did OKC do?
what? Because OKC, yes.
They swept
They're
their ass.
this is the thing.
Ja. That's
This
what
is the
they
thing.
do.
No.
They did? Yeah, Ja, they did. Weren't you there?
No,
They're
they
still
didn't.
playing. You're
No.
not.
Listen, fuck all that. What did OKC do? Like, really think about it. That is the same team from last year with like an injury or two apart. Right? I'm not tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only person who was injured this year on this team was Chet Williams or Chet. Yeah.
They
Chet
did.
Holmgren.
Like,
Yeah.
did they? And then Houston, draft picks, playing like absolute dogs. Same team as last year. Did they?
Yeah, I'm still gonna say yes.
I'm gonna say yes.
Yes, because they got better and you're still the same.
And you got worse.
Memphis
You
has
went from a
added
He goes,
more.
I've been a 2 seed before. Yeah. What were
Memphis
you this
has
year,
added
Ja?
more
What were you
firepower.
last year, Ja? You were in the fucking playoffs last year.
What
Ja.
firepower did Memphis add? I'm just asking you.
I mean,
What
look how Scottie
firepower
Pippen
did
Jr. played in the
Memphis have?
playoffs. He was like their second best offensive scorer.
They traded it.
What did
away.
Jaren Jackson do in the playoffs? He was a defensive player of the year candidate. He sucked.
He's right.
You know.
Jaren did suck. I would love to sit here and defend Jaren because I am a Jaren.
Look,
guy.
I love that Memphis team. Don't get me wrong.
That was-
But at the same time, they did not step up to the plate. They took a whole step backwards this year, even with adding players, even with the same core group they have had.
Yeah, you want to know how
back
we all know
days
how I knew
ago.
y'all were. You want to know how I knew y'all were cooked when I found out your lead scorer after 2 games was Scottie Pippen Jr. I said, yeah, throw that bitch in.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not what you want.
Whereas in Houston
In
and
6 years,
OKC may
maybe that
have
would
the
be a
same.
good thing, but not
Houston and
now.
OKC may have somewhat of the same team and same core, but they excelled. They're the 1-2 seeds, where Memphis went from being the 1-2 seed a couple years ago, and now they're 8 seed.
Yeah.
They played in the play-in. So
Speaking of said series, let's move it on over to the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. Last time we talked, it was 1-1, tied up at 1 game apiece, but all it took was for a certain chef to enter a certain kitchen for things to shift. Curry got in the last body bag and dropped, 35 points the next game? Was it game 3?
33.
Okay. And then continued that with Brandon Podds, game number 4, coming up with 30 points as well.
How about it?
Yeah, the youngins on the team. They do have some youngins. I know it's
Yeah.
the old versus the young, but Podds is a youngin. The Warriors are now up 3-1. Game number 5 is tonight at 10 o'clock.
Listen. Whoa. First of all, we get a phenomenal.
7:30. You're right.
Yeah, we get it finally at 7:30.
The Lakers are at 10. You're right.
But I'm sorry. Curry is doing Curry things, and Curry has been Curry, but he is not the reason they're winning this series. Jimmy Butler is the reason they're winning this year. Jimmy Butler doesn't come back, we're looking at a whole nother ball game. That man is clamping up. Damn it, I forgot this name. Help me out here.
Green?
Jalen Green. He is making Jalen Green disappear. It is very noticeable when Jimmy played. all these other games, aside from the one, that's the only game Jalen Green has had where he's looked like Jalen Green is supposed to.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest.
That's the only game where I saw him flying up to the basket.
I'm looking at this right now. The one game Jimmy didn't play, Jalen Green went 4 for 11 with 9 points. So he hasn't even been.
Was it no, he had was it game 2 then?
It might have been, but I'm
that's
saying
the game Jimmy got injured.
Jalen Green has been shut down
too,
majority of these playoffs. So that has been Jalen Green, Amen Thompson. They really haven't been pulling their weight because, like you said, they've been getting clamped. But also, Jimmy shooting 7 for 12, shooting 8 for 14. He's putting up buckets.
He's taking his shots and he ain't missing.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like Draymond said, Jimmy saved their season. That's how I feel.
Jakob, as I go to you, I'm going to ask you a question. What the fuck does Houston need to do to win this series and come back?
You know, I don't think there's anything they can do. I think Golden State's veteranship is showing here. Most of that team, well, not most, but they got some big stars who know what the playoffs are like and what it takes. Whereas in Houston's learning for the first time, firsthand, getting smacked in the face about it. Their young stars need to step up, like you were saying. Amen and Jalen Green are not performing up to par. They're not playing like the 2 seed they've been playing as all year.
They need to be on Sengun level.
Now,
my super biased Warriors ass to tell you what they need to do. They need to lay down and take this fucking beating. The series is over. Lay the fuck down. Give up. You ain't getting 56 like whatever that fucking team got 56. You're getting 50. Lay down and die.
Wow. That's crazy. I think this is so funny because it's like this is the Knicks Pistons series in my eyes. So every time we're talking negative about the Rockets, I'm like, damn, that's how they feel about the Pistons.
No, because we might not be more talented, but we're more physical. The Rockets have proven that they are not more talented or more physical. Because guess what? When they want to get physical, they got a big old donkey barking up the tree, and his name's Draymond Green, and they want no smoke with that big stuff.
Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green is so – I love it.
You want no smoke with that. So the problem is Houston, it's like
lay
a bunch
down
of young guys.
And die.
You know what I think Houston needs to do? I think they need to get rid of oh God, what's his face? The guy from the Grizzlies that they got. Oh God, drawing a blank.
Even Nick said
Dylan Brooks. God, get rid of Dylan Brooks for the love of God, please. That's what I think Houston needs to do. I think Dylan Brooks is a fucking problem.
No, what Houston needs to do is go out there and get them a certified bucket. Get your old get.
They got like 3 of them. They're just not playing.
No.
They're not playing like it.
I want a certified veteran to lead all these young ass players that have barely been in the league for 4 years. You need like Kevin Durant. Fuck it.
That's a fucking if I've ever heard one.
Why not?
Kevin Durant. Because he walks in the locker room and says, fuck it. And then he just does whatever.
Nah, he's not the problem in that team. It's bitch made Booker.
Bro, all I gotta say is Kevin Durant's been a problem for the last 6 years. Ever since he stepped on that fucking line and didn't win that game, he's been a problem.
Yep. I agree.
Because he went to Phoenix, where I told y'all when he went there that he was going to amount to nothing.
Nobody did not disagree.
No
the only person who vouched
was
Luke. Luke was the only person who said it was going to be differently because he's blinded by Phoenix.
Devin Booker was
and they're terrible.
Oh
I mean, look, you would have asked me that question when I was here at the beginning of the NBA season. I wouldn't have expected the Suns to be as bad as they were. I'll say that much. But
I have been proud.
Jesse has been preying on their downfall.
Proud hater.
On Phoenix since he went there.
Yeah.
I've said they're winning absolutely nothing.
I think Jesse's voodoo is actually probably the reason why they're in this spot, now that I think about it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Let's move on.
We got the Nuggets. We got the Clippers. We got a 3-2 Nuggets series lead. It has been a back-and-forth series, thriller after thriller, until game number 5, where Jamal Murray said, I'm going to just drop 43 points on your bitch ass and go 8 for 13 from the three-point line. And there's really nothing you can do about that. Nuggets dropped 131 points, which is the most points that have been scored in a playoff game so far. Clippers still put up 115, but I think right now this Nuggets firepower is kind of just overproving it right now. Also, Jokic is averaging a double-double in the playoffs so far.
I watched the Nuggets get ass beat in game 3 or 4.
Dude, I think they lost 2 and 4.
Yes, the Nuggets lost, or the Clippers lost. The Clippers won game number 2 and game number 3. The Nuggets got their ass beat game number 3.
I've seen ass beatings. I've seen overtime. I've seen 16-point.
Mm-hmm.
It's going 7.
It's going 7. We all know it's going
This
7.
has
But
to go
now,
7.
I think the main question is, because a lot of people originally probably didn't think this Clippers team was going 7. This Clippers team comes out here and beats Denver in 7. A lot of heads are going to turn.
Nope, not for me.
Okay. Jesse's better than the rest of us. But
No,
majority of
I'm not
heads are
the
going
rest of you. That's the
majority of heads in the world are going to turn because Jokic and Jamal just lost to a quote-unquote washed-up James Harden and a Kawhi Leonard who's been injured majority of the year. People will be surprised by that.
Yeah.
Okay? So if that does happen, my question is this a Clippers team that can actually make a run here?
No.
They're too inconsistent, but they can. The Nuggets also have some inconsistencies right now too. Like, this is the battle of who can be more consistent, because neither of you are.
Okay.
Clippers win this series, they go on to play OKC, and I don't think they beat OKC. But this comes back to
I don't see either team beating OKC. I don't see anyone beating
this comes back to veteranship, though. Kawhi and Harden have been in this league a long fucking time. They know what to do in this type of scenario. So, not saying that Jokic and Murray haven't been in the league a while. They get it too. They've won a championship.
Yeah, they've won rings.
So I get it, but at the same time, it's veteranship, man. I get it. I just think it outweighs when it comes to young talent. Veteranship wins.
I think they both equaled out on that veteranship, in my opinion. Because when you have people,
I was going to say that too.
When you have people like Jamal, honestly, Jamal Murray's been in the league, 5-6 years? You got to remember, he was hurt. He missed a whole year.
Second contract makes you a veteran.
Yeah. So,
yeah, but you got Harden and Kawhi who've been in the league for 15 plus.
They're dinosaurs.
Yeah, I get that. I get that they're a lot older. What I'm saying is I still think that it's not like they're just young cats in the league like the Houston squad is.
But like you look at Denver's playoff runs the last few years, how many close series have they truly had? Not all that much.
I was just about to say, I thought you were going to say the opposite.
2020 and 2021, they had to come back from 3-1.
Every series was a comeback for Denver. I was going to say, I thought you were going to say the opposite. Look at every series, they had to come back. That's what
they have been. They lose 2 games almost every series.
Yeah, they never are sitting pretty. But I think that I just think a lot more props is getting due to the Clippers game by game. Yeah, Tyler.
No, all there really is to say is that Jokic doesn't care that much.
He never has, never will. 100%.
Exactly. He just doesn't really care. So I don't know. Maybe the fucking Clippers will do it. He doesn't really care. He got his ring. Technically, you're good for the next 12, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, you'd expect.
I mean, I see the clips. I see the clips of them blowing up on the bench. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. Last series that we have to talk about here is the Lakers and the Timberwolves. I was asked the other day, how am I feeling? And I'm going to be honest, I'm feeling not fine. I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling like no one told me Jaden McDaniels was going to go off for 30 points and a double-double. And then he was going to go off for 30 points again. And no one told me that Anthony Edwards was going to go out and, do the thing. Last week on this podcast, I had a whole clip dedicated to the Lakers, and now I'm sitting over here having to press this.
The best player in this series with LeBron and Luka on the basketball court is a 23-year-old with a $200+ million contract, playing like he broke, playing like he said, I want this. I'm taking him out. Last statement. I've said it before and I'll say it again. He is a shark in blood-infested waters. Yeah, I think the series is going to go back to Minnesota. But make no mistake, he's coming to take them out in L.A. He wants to ruin Tinseltown for them all summer long. Ant-Man is coming. I'm sorry, he's arrived.
So,
yeah, that was hype as fuck.
Listen, Stephen A. Smith got a lot of clips, say a lot of things. He that guy, and I'm gonna say it like this: I don't think anybody truly, besides Minnesota, I don't think anybody truly realized how much of a mismatch this lineup truly is. It's height against a short lineup with a bum center. Yeah. LeBron, Luka, and AR would all three have to drop 22 to 30 points to keep these games competitive at this point.
Look, I know we talked about how the Lakers don't have a center, but why the fuck is it playing such a big impact as it is? I know that we didn't have a center, but I was like, okay, it's okay because LeBron's going to come out, drop these buckets with AR, and the bench is going to do what they have to do.
You have a 7'3" monster and Rudy Gobert centering the Timberwolves.
Nas Reed.
Yeah, you're right.
Jaden McDaniels. None of these players are the average height for their position.
Jaden McDaniels can go fuck himself. He did the same thing last year in the playoffs. This motherfucker just decided that he's going to be a key role player all year, and then the playoffs come, and you know what? I'm actually a key player.
I got you, Anthony.
Fuller, Wolfpack, baby, let's go. You crazy for taking Lakers in 5.
It ain't gonna be in 5.
Or how many Timberwolves games have you watched this year?
I love to see
None.
it. Be like, it's gonna be in 5. It's gonna be in
None.
7.
Tell us the truth.
I want to
Tell us the
know.
truth.
Yeah, let's hear it.
You gotta fucking keep
fucking
talking, dude.
Minnesota
He'll
fandom.
get there when he gets there.
Okay, well, the problem is, I don't think the Lakers are I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, the Lakers are gonna come take it in 7. I think the Lakers might get another one, but I just feel like there's no stopping Ant-Man right
Look,
now.
Anthony
Yeah, probably
Edwards has
not.
got that killer instinct right now.
Yeah, that's going.
I'm fine in the West.
LeBron,
That's the
Luka,
Lakers.
me. That's us. I'm with you, Jesse. I feel the pain. That was me like 2 weeks ago. I thought we were chilling like motherfucking villains, and now I am panicked. I'm worried, and I'm doubtful. And honestly, this is me. And I hate it. So
I don't think you
really
got to be
pain.
that bad. The glaring issues are pretty obvious in this series. I feel like this is giving you everything you need to learn on
If
why
LeBron retires after this year, I don't want to do this anymore.
his contract's
It's
up
really not-
next year. Relax.
He might just say, I
Look.
played 1 year with Bron.
The Lakers
Ah.
want to.
I'm sick of that motherfucker.
Hear him out.
Lakers want to
What?
come back and win this series. They got to win the boards. You got to win on the glass,
They not winning on the glass.
which is
Look,
why
the
I'm
only thing
saying
that
if they
makes
want to
perfect
win.
sense, Lakers get eliminated first round after literally fleecing the fucking league in the greatest fucking what the fuck trade that anyone's ever witnessed. It only makes perfect sense they get eliminated in the first round.
Yeah,
Karma, bitch. Karma.
Nah,
That was
'cause
fucked up.
7.
7. That's
You lying.
more. That's more than I would have really thought, actually.
All right. So this is your 7. I want you to take it, rotate it, flip it, liar.
It's crazy.
Playoffs don't count.
He's watched all the playoff games. So
Yeah, game number
there's-
5
there's
is also
5.
tonight. So
or 4.
we will
There's 4
see.
games. So it did 3 regular season. He's
Give me
in
Lakers.
I mean, if
Lakers
Anthony Edwards
tonight.
goes,
Because there's
that
absolutely
case, I've seen
no way.
8 Pistons games this year. So
Anthony Edwards
Yeah.
comes out like he did the last couple games and does what he does, the Lakers aren't winning tonight.
all right, let's switch it up. Let's go to baseball. I'm sick of this.
Let's go to baseball. All right, we'll go to baseball next. Hell yeah.
Championship because this is the only championship you'll ever get. You can't during the regular season to save your
Right
life.
center field. Jones still on the move, running out of room, and he makes it! Come on in! The 1-1 from Dodson. Batista with a drive. Deep left field. No doubt about it. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over.
So we
Dylan, I don't know if you're going to start with this.
we
but
are. We are.
I've been sitting on this video.
We
it's
are.
fucking weird as shit, and I
Let me
don't know
set it
why
up
they're
and
doing
you
what
can
they're
play it.
doing, but
Let me set it up and you can
all
play it.
right,
So
sure.
after a baseball game between the West Virginia University Mountaineers and the University of Central Florida in college baseball, the West Virginia Mountaineers won the doubleheader, and after their second game of the doubleheader, they were very excited that they took said doubleheader. So everyone has their outfield celebrations. You dap each other up, you pat your gloves. West Virginia has their own little outfield celebration, and it went viral. Tyler?
Bro, you call this a double header. I call this the quadruple header because these motherfuckers are nasty.
Oh,
12.
man. All right.
UCF drops to 23. And
What the hell?
Bro, look at 37. Watch 37. Ah!
Are you kidding me?
The camera so bad.
That's his idea, 100%. That's his idea. Those other two guys are looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? No, this is not what we talked about. What was that?
Oh, God.
Yeah, look, what is he doing, bro? I didn't even realize you paused it when oh my God.
That's the first time he did the
here's the
handshake
longest win
like
streak in
that.
the Big 12. UCF drops to 23. And
Oh no, they
here's the longest win streak in the Big 12.
Feel his face. He was
No, dude, no. The guy on the left is like, what are you doing?
doing?
This guy on the left, number 5, he's like, what are you doing? Oh, come on, man.
You're on the top.
The cameraman.
Hold on. Look at 37. It tugs all out of shit.
Hey, what? The
That's what
cameraman.
I'm saying, dude.
The
Dude,
cameraman.
I'll pause it.
Oh,
Look at him. Look at him. He's
Play it
looking.
one more time. Play it one more time. I'm the cameraman, right? Immediately. Fucking immediately. Camera B.
It was too late.
He zoomed in at
He
everything.
couldn't look away. It was one of those moments where it's like, oh
Oh,
my God, is it
man.
too good to be
Wait,
true?
are they really? Nah. They
They're
couldn't.
not gonna. Oh,
Like,
they
he can't
are.
erase. The cameraman's like, I can't look away at this. This is too good to turn the camera
They
away.
were like 4 sweeps. Let's get it. Confetti.
I hope he went back to his like girl or his mom or something after. she was
I
like,
know
"What was
we've
that
done some
celebration
weird
about?"
shit when it comes to things,
Don't
but
worry
like,
about
if, I don't know in any scenario. I look at my college teammates and like, bear with me on this one. All right?
Hey, we win this game. You know
Look.
what we're doing.
Listen, I got a new one. Just do what we normally do. I'm just gonna put a twist on it.
Oh, he put a twist on it, all right.
This clip gonna go crazy.
That's actually
he was twisting
you're
it, all
probably right. It's probably what they do. They probably just go
Grab
boom,
his dick and
boom,
twist it.
boom. That's probably what they do. They probably just stack their fucking hands like that. And he was like, "Nah, I got an idea." That's probably
Crazy.
exactly what they did.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Leave it to the white guy.
You
to
saying
do
they
it.
did it pregame? That's nasty.
He was watching them do it every time, and every time he was like, "I got an idea, but I just don't know if they're gonna let."
Way to
I'm gonna
make
do
way
it."
to make all white people look weird as shit, guy. Thank
Yep.
you.
Had to do it
Go
with
ahead.
Next thing, next thing we got to talk about is there was a 4-player race for 9 home runs. Who was going to be the first in the league to hit 10 home runs? Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Eugenio Suarez came out and hit 4 home runs in one game, had 9 RBIs on the game, became the 19th player in history to hit 14 home runs in one game. So now he has 10 home runs.
4,
but-
not 14. You
4.
said 14 in
Sorry,
one game.
He said
4 in
14.
one game. 4 in one game. 4 in one game. 19th
Yep.
player in history to hit 4 in one game. And what's crazy about this is not only is he now the MLB lead leader in home runs, but they lost the game. He hit
Yeah,
4
and
home runs.
he was the first player to ever hit 4 home runs in
Uh-huh.
a game where his team loses.
Lost the game.
That's fucking hilarious. That's all I got.
There we
Sounds
go.
like my road to the show.
Yeah, that's honestly couldn't say it better than that. I agree. All right, next thing that we have in MLB is over the last week or two, there have been 3 new City Connect jerseys that have been revealed, and I want to know what your guys' thoughts on said jerseys are. So we will start with Chicago. Now, on the left side is their first City Connects, the South Side jerseys that you all know and love. But the second one is their current ones, which are inspired by the Chicago Bulls.
Those are better.
You like the Bulls ones better?
Those are hard.
Jesse?
They are fire, but I don't know that black.
Off the top of my head, I'm gonna say
They're
that
both good, honestly.
visually, I like the Bulls theme better. But I do like their own South Side. That's their White Sox City Connect. That's theirs, you know.
I think the Southside uniforms were killing the fucking players. I think that every time they wore them on a Saturday, which is when they wore their City Connects, the players were dying because it was all black uniforms in the summer. So they said, we got to switch them up. Put some red on that bitch. I love the Southsides, but I think the players probably hated them.
I just like
They're just weak. Tigers wear black and
I
blue.
like their own idea behind it. It kind of bums me out that they're like, yeah, let's take another Chicago team and make that our jersey.
All right, next.
Next team that we have is a team that the first time they came out with their City Connect uniforms, they were so good that me and Tyler both bought one. So the Miami Marlins shot it again, and this is take 2 on their next City Connects. Spoiler alert, might be buying another.
Spoiler alert, I think I'm buying one.
They do
The
it
305
right.
hat to go with it. Ooh.
That not this like Miami Heat jersey from a couple years ago.
It's the Miami Vice color scheme, and that will
Bro,
never
they're
go
just
back.
they're just doing basketball colors. That's what they're doing here.
Miami Vice.
I'm noticing
is
the pattern.
Miami. That's not okay. I get what you're saying, but that's just a Miami thing.
They could totally make a fucking Tigers Bad Boys jersey.
Yes, they could.
I'd be here for that.
So I'm here for that one. The last one that we have is kind of a mixture between the throwbacks plus a new school of the Arizona Diamondbacks with the purple and the teal.
Yeah.
Anything with
All
that
three
teal-
of these motherfuckers hit, Dylan.
anything with that teal, I'm a sucker for. So I'm immediately
I like
love the
all
colors.
3 of them.
yeah.
I love
These
those
are
Arizona
actually
colors.
eerily similar.
I wish they would have done more with the design though. What's the stripe pattern? I guess I can't really tell. Like, is it?
It's like it's just black dots like down the jersey.
Oh yes, like I wish they would have made
They're
it like
darker.
Pinstripes. It's
They
like
go
pinstripes.
they get further apart and lighter as you go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I wish it was like I don't know, not just dots. Maybe like make it look like the state of Arizona each dot, or the county of Phoenix that I play in, or I don't know, make it related to your city.
Yeah.
Outside of just a throwback.
I get that, but I like,
like it
because yeah.
It looks cool.
I think
I'm not
I
dissing how it
think
looks, but
Sucker.
for a lot of the other City Connects that we do see, when they do try to intertwine a bunch of shit from the city, it's usually too much and people don't like it. So
Yeah.
I think that keep it simple, stupid is the best way to go.
Yep.
Make it look like a Bulls jersey. Good job. Make it look like the fucking Miami jerseys everybody loved. Good job.
Yeah.
Make it look like when we had fucking Randy Johnson throwing baseballs at birds and people loved Arizona. Good
I'm
job.
starting to think the White Sox are just
Everybody
trying to
hit.
make money in any way possible. They're like, yeah, we know we're gonna be even worse than we were last year.
That's the
so
worst
let's-
part about these, bro. Is the White Sox gotta wear them.
I hate to see it.
I'm just gonna take it as like a
I'll
Bulls
buy one
basketball.
just so that someone that
I'm
isn't
just gonna wear
losing
it. I'm just
baseball
gonna wear it
games
as a
can
Bulls baseball jersey. That's all I'm gonna say. To
Smart.
Exactly. That's all it should be.
Just get Jordan on the back, 23.
Yeah, there you go. Custom jersey.
yeah.
Jordan 23.
Put
All right,
basketball
so-
player in the back.
I'm gonna keep it $1.50 because I know that we don't all want to sit here for another 20 minutes. We can either do Dylan's question, we can do the NHL playoffs. Both will be short and sweet. I'll take it to a vote.
I feel like
I'm nervous.
I'll give you a hint. Dylan's
Maybe
question
I'm tripping,
is one of the most
but
popular
two short and
questions
sweet
currently
things
on
don't
the
fit.
internet.
I don't feel like these are related. I feel like we should do the NHL playoffs, but I'm very intrigued by Dylan's question.
Well, let's just buzz through the playoffs real quick. Just pick teams.
Just do your question right now. Let's get out of the way.
It's the question that everyone's been asking, and I feel like we need to answer. 100 men, one gorilla.
Oh, Jesus
Win.
Christ, this is stupid.
The
No, it's
gorilla.
not.
The
No,
men,
it's not.
100 men. There's no shot
The
100
fucking
men
gorilla.
lose to one fucking gorilla.
I have 100 men. If I get to pick my men,
okay, listen.
I get to pick my gorilla?
listen.
Yeah.
Listen. I saw
All right, then the 100 men are getting fucked.
no, then
King
the-
Kong doesn't count.
a real gorilla. Real
King
gorilla.
Kong's 300 feet tall.
Okay.
I'm taking 100 people.
Listen. We take
I'm
Silverback
sorry, look,
gorilla.
give me the biggest gorilla in the fucking Amazon rainforest, Silverback. I'm not taking 100 men because he swings one time and he's knocking out 3 of them. So he just keeps swinging.
But
and all
if
of a
you
sudden
go
they're all dead.
100 at one time, that gorilla's fucked. He's gonna get suffocated. He's gonna get swarmed. He's cooked.
How are you going to get around the gorilla? Good luck.
People are gonna strategize.
He's gonna be-
100 people
he's
are
gonna
gonna
be-
come up with a strategy.
Oh yeah,
Dumbass
okay, all right.
gorilla.
So you're adding a bunch of shit to this now. So they get time to prepare.
They don't get weapons.
They get to
no
formulate
weapons.
plans, They're not just getting thrown into a ring with
all
a
I'm saying
gorilla.
is if there's a one
If you
gorilla
throw
in the
into
middle of
a gorilla,
100
you're gonna
men,
come up with a plan.
100 men don't lose this.
Who says the gorilla doesn't have a fucking plan?
Maybe he does too.
Gorillas are like one of the smartest fucking animals out there. They're damn near
Yes.
people.
Who
Who says he doesn't have a plan?
Okay, Jesse hasn't been able to go. Sorry, Jesse.
If this is fisticuffs, no one's getting a weapon. No one's grabbing tree branches to make them into weapons. No weapons of any sort, us and gorilla.
Correct.
That's what's going to happen. You're losing.
Yeah, there's gonna be casualties.
Minimum 45 people.
Yep.
Absolute minimum, I think.
Uh-huh.
But seeing this was a point I saw. This is not me on my own because I've heard this question. Jaguars have killed silverback gorillas. I understand we're not jaguars. We do not have teeth like jaguars.
Where you go with this?
But a 73-year-old man has strangled a jaguar before. So by my calculations, if old man can strangle jaguar and jaguar can kill gorilla, and gorilla's strength is equal to 20 humans, so we are at ×5 his strength, we should be able to win.
That's like saying the Tigers beat the Dodgers, but the White Sox beat the Tigers, so the White Sox are better than the Dodgers.
I mean, technically.
We can jump.
No! No! That's not how that works!
This is two animals that can both climb trees. We are both creatures that can climb trees. There's 100 of them jumping down.
If you ask
my bad. We get some
ChatGPT says 100 humans. I'm just saying. They say there will be a lot of casualties, but the human should win.
All right, look, motherfucker. I asked AI. So,
yeah.
One-on-one to maybe 5 people, gorilla wins decisively.
Of course. 100
unarmed men acting chaotically, the gorilla could still do massive damage and possibly pull it off.
Okay.
But 100 coordinated men, they'd win eventually through sheer numbers and persistence, but likely with significant casualties, upwards of 60 to 70%.
Yeah, so there's going to be maybe 10 or 15 people, but they will.
So depending on what group of people you have, that determines whether or not this gorilla is surviving.
There you go.
Men.
I asked my AI the same thing, and it told me a gorilla wins.
Well, your
Let's say we get
I have 3 different outcomes on 3 different scenarios.
25 Jakes.
Your AI is not trying hard
We're
enough.
losing.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
come on. Let's be honest.
No, bro, them knees gonna buckle.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. We're not winning if there's 25 of me.
I'm not sending 100 Jakes. No way.
No.
I'm not sending
Oh
100.
my God, are you kidding me? You
I'm not
drop
sending
100
100
knees in there. And
Well, Fuller, okay, let me call up Roman Reigns, Dwayne Johnson, and Randy Orton real quick, and a couple other big dudes, and we'll go get this gorilla.
Give me
and
100
Who's
Brock
Randy
Lesnar's,
O'Brien?
and this gorilla's fucked. Next.
I mean, I guess.
All right.
right.
We'll run through these playoffs super duper quick because
Yeah, first things first. Does anybody think Toronto's going to Toronto and fucking blow this series?
God,
No, they should handle it.
I don't.
But it might go to 7 because.
Well, if it goes to 7, they're fucked.
What did I say when it was 3-0? Ottawa, will you stop playing physical? What did Ottawa do game 4? 25 minutes of penalty minutes of fighting. Oh, baby, they're back. And they won. And then the next game, overtime, win. Oh, no, I had my verse mixed up. It was overtime win, then the penalty fight minutes.
Regardless,
But
this
still,
is the most Toronto thing ever to go up 3-0 and then just start doing weird
Sucking.
stuff that you
Ottawa
weren't
won
doing before.
7.
Toronto and
Jake.
6.
Yep. All right. Next up, Tampa Bay and the Panthers. The Panthers are doing exactly as I thought and smoking Tampa Bay.
You put 2 of the biggest shit talkers on the same team. It's gonna go wrong for Tampa. You got Marchand and Kachuk on the same team. Florida's going to the conference finals at the very least.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, all of the key players that the Lightning normally have in the playoffs that they rely on are fucking dead. So it's all Florida.
It's all downhill. All right, let's go over to Ovi's team. Caps and Canadians. Caps are doing exactly as I thought. Up 3-1.
Yeah, this is the same fucking scenario as the Warriors and Houston. The old grizzled motherfuckers have more experience in playoffs, and the young Bucks are doing the best they can, but their goaltending.
Let's not act like the Canadians weren't in the Cup final 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, but the problem is
They have those same players on the team
When you
that made
allow
a run.
6 goals, 4 goals, 2 goals, and then 6 goals. The goaltending isn't helping when you don't have Carey Price anymore.
Yeah, you're right. That was also a COVID year, so let's just blow by that.
Look, let's
All
be
right.
honest. Go ahead.
I was just gonna move on. If you're gonna stay on the Caps and Canadians, go ahead.
I was going to say one thing. I've seen a few really bad missed calls that the Canadians should have gotten that they didn't call.
Boo-hoo. This is fucking.
I
this is
never heard
basketball.
no hockey player.
This is
talk
not
about
basketball.
I've
Shut
seen
the fuck up.
3 cross checks to the face, dude. I don't know if you guys see the
Oh,
same
shut
clips.
up.
I mean,
Playoff hockey. Playoff hockey. You're supposed to get cross-checked in the face and then
can't put a
cross-check him
stick
back.
to the guy's jaw. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, all right. Maybe you shouldn't do that, but like it's more allowed in playoff hockey than it should be. All right.
Let's talk
Like,
about
it's
my
just
Stanley Cup
allowed.
champion. Woo!
Hurricanes beat Devils. Canes
Duh.
win the series, only living up 1 game, which honestly should have been expected because of the defense that the Carolina Hurricanes are able to play. It's absolutely insane.
What's the main headline? The Hurricanes won not 1, but 2 home playoff games. Oh shit! That's all I care about.
It's
Couldn't
been
do
a
it in 2
fucking
years.
minute.
Relatable.
So thank God.
You got to get a playoff game first.
Yeah, let's get to the Western
Talking
Conference.
about them.
Oh, that's true. All right, yeah, let's go over to the other side. Jets and Blues. The Jets and Blues are tied 2-2. Honestly, I mean,
Great series.
the Blues are just fucking sticking around. I guess this is just crazy. Winnipeg, I thought would have already taken this 3-1, maybe even swept them. But look at the St. Louis Blues.
The game it was a game 3 went into overtime, and then game 4 Blues won 5-1. I've loved this series. This has probably been my favorite series so far.
This Blues team gives me vibes from when they won the Cup. They were nothing at some point during this year. They scratched their way into playoffs.
Die on a hill, my dog. You came on here 2 weeks ago and said this Blues team reminds me of the Cup team, and then you came on here last week and said I said this Blues team reminded me of the Cup team, but I might have been wrong. And now you're back. You got to stand on a hill and die there.
I mean, I never
You don't have
totally
to die
backed
there,
up what I said.
No,
I never
you're
totally,
there or
I
you're
never
not.
totally backtracked. If you want me to be honest, I said what I said because Blues went down 2-0. They did not look good those first 2 games, but
And
here
now
they
you're
are
back
yet
and you
again,
won 2 more.
looking like they have been these last few months of the regular season. They look good.
I have Blues in 6 or 7, still standing there.
Stay there.
Blues in 6.
All right. Let's go to the Stars and the Avs. Look, I'm not trying to be that guy, Luke, but every series we get to is another person you said was going to win the Cup that's about to lose their series. So, Stars and Avs. Stars are up 3-2. If anybody saw Dude Perfect mic'd up at the game, I fucking love
did.
Dude Perfect. But saw them clipped up at the game. Tyler Toney, absolute legend. But anyways, Dallas showing them how it's done. The old Otter. I mean, starting the game off, scoring immediately. What was it? 12 seconds into the game or some shit.
Yeah.
Scored their first goal. And then they, I believe, scored on the penalty kill. They're just taking advantage of all the opportunities they were given in that game. And they're going to need to do the same thing if they want to take this series against the Avalanche, because the Avalanche are a good fucking hockey team, and I don't think they're going to back down lightly. This could very easily go 7.
Is very inconsistent, and
I hope
that's
the
a
Avalanche
big
team bus
problem.
gets buried by an Avalanche on their way to the next game.
They're relying on Nathan McKinnon to do all of the fucking scoring, and that's their problem right now. Buddy needs some help, and he has the help, but it's not helping.
Yeah, I thought the Avs might be able to pull this series out, but it's looking like Dallas might wrap it up in 6. But I don't know. Which Avs team will we see?
Also, I can't remember his name, but shout out
That's
to
the best way to say they're inconsistent without saying they're inconsistent.
shout out to Colorado's goaltender. I can't remember his name, but he's been
Yeah, no need to say
Isn't
it.
there like goalie like Gorgiev or some shit like that?
Yeah. He's been standing on his head. I can't remember his name, but he's been doing really good too. All right, let's get to the next one. I know Fuller's not going to want to talk about it, but we got to.
Woo! Vegas! Beating that booty.
Go ahead, Jake. Why don't you start this one?
Yeah, Vegas in 6. Fuck the Wild. Minnesota, or Zach, your Minnesota team can't fucking handle it. Suck our sparkly jersey nuts.
You totally should have had the jersey on for that. Yeah, Vegas and Wild, it's not looking good. I mean, at least the Wild have done better than they usually do when they make the playoffs and then get immediately exited in the first round. They won 2 games. That's more than I honestly expected because
to me, I've seen them win.
They keep fucking up.
So many round 1 game 7s, Ty. It doesn't mean shit to me. It doesn't mean shit. Yes, the last couple of years they've been bounced early, but before that, I remember when they would go 7 games around 1 to the Kings and still lose. So like I said last time, I want them to be good. The goaltending has been dookie. Kaprizov, where the fuck have you been? I've seen you in 1 game perform. So irritating, but I think Vegas is going to win in 6 or 7. Yeah. I want to root for you, Fuller. I want to root for your Wild. We all want to.
No, not all of us.
Except for Jake, because he wears glittery, bedazzled, sparkled jerseys, and his dad didn't hit him enough as a child. But that's just... We'll
Because I didn't need to be hit.
Nah, that was his brother. All right, one more series. The Kings and the Oilers. The Oilers and the Kings are always an interesting matchup in the playoffs, and we are currently sitting at Oilers up 3-2 in the series with Connor McDavid just being Connor McDavid. And the Oilers playing a little bit of defense, which has helped them win a couple games. Look at that. Defense goes a long way.
Defense wins championships.
Momentum is all with Edmonton right now, and I hate to say it, but I think that's just what's going to win them the series in 6. When you have momentum in playoffs, it's hard to keep it, but I think Edmonton's going to. I think they're gonna keep it. I know Draisaitl and McDavid started off cold, but now they're heating up, and once they start heating up, good fucking luck.
It's bad news bears for whoever they play in the second round.
I know I had them losing
when they're already cooking.
But I'm not stupid. I'm the switch side, stand up, business, say whatever you want. But I can realize when I was wrong, and this Oilers team is not losing this series.
I ain't gonna blame you. I realized I was wrong about the Bucks series. I fucking got the hell off that shit. I was sitting over there on the Titanic, about to watch the iceberg crash into the just sit there and watch it. But there's a guy in the back saying, "Hey, I have a helicopter. If you just wanna go now before it gets crazy." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go in the helicopter." So that's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta just recognize when get the fuck out.
Donnie, you got anything on this before we go to picks?
Oh, not really. You guys summed it up pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. So,
alrighty, then we will get into MLB picks, and then we will get the fuck out of here.
It's also like the late series, so me and Jake are asleep. Can't even fucking watch this shit.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why he's got nothing to say.
All right, game number 1. No, actually, I don't want to do another Cubs game. I feel like we just always do the Cubs.
Yeah, stop doing the same fucking teams, you bum.
Yeah, for real, bro. It's just because I go to the 2 top pitchers, and that's why. So we'll ignore that. All right, let's go over to. Here we go. These are 2 good pitchers. We got. Nope, he sucks. We're gonna move the fuck on over to Friday. We got the Kansas City Royals taking on the Baltimore Orioles Friday at 7:05.
Damn it, Alexa.
Ugh. Jake, you want to go first on this one?
Sorry, Alexa was talking as you were saying that. What are the teams again?
Royals, Baltimore in Baltimore.
Give me Baltimore. That's going to be a good game, I think. I don't think that's going to...
Do I have the pitchers? Is that what you asked?
Yeah, do you have the pitching matchup?
Yeah, Michael Wacha with a 3.3 ERA.
Yeah. I know who they are. Just tell me who.
Okay. And Dean Kramer.
And who? All right, give me the Royals.
Okay. I'm going to take Kansas City.
Waka.
Just because I don't know what's been going on with Baltimore this year, but they've been starting off poopy. Best way to put it. Next game is a game that I promise you I'm not trolling, and it's actually just because there is some hype around it. We have Adam Mazur, who is making his 2025 debut coming off of Tommy John surgery, which means he could be a robot for your Miami Marlins, taking on Osvaldo Bido for the A's.
Give me the motherfucking Marlins, baby! Woo! I could confidently take the Marlins for like 1 pick this year. They're gonna fucking lose.
I can actually do a Marlins
I'm taking them.
Jakob?
Fade them. Take the A's.
I like Bido. He's like the one pitcher on the A's that I'm kind of okay with, so I'm going to take the A's.
Okay. Tyler, I don't know if you want to be on an island, but I'm sorry, I'm riding Miami as well. Tommy John, Mr. Robot. That I like that. I love that. I can't not ride it. So.
God.
He's getting a jersey, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's go. New one's on the way.
Last game we have of the series. This is the best pitching matchup. We have the Seattle Mariners and Brian Wu with a 3 ERA, who is 3-1, going up against the Rangers and Jack Leader, who is 2-0 with a 2.03 ERA.
Give me Wyatt Langford and the Rangers. Langford's gonna go yard in this game too.
Did you say Seattle's at home?
No, they are in Texas.
Oh yeah, then give me Texas.
Okay.
I like Brian Wu. I think it'll be a good pitcher matchup. Don't get me wrong, but I think Texas prevails at home.
Pitcher matchup in a pitcher ballpark, which honestly does not favor the home team because I think Garcia has the most homers on their team with like 4. I don't know what's going on over there. So I'm going to take Seattle. Alrighty. Those are picks. That's the pod. I told you it was going to be a lengthy one. We gave you NFL. We gave you MLB. We gave you NHL. We gave you everything that happened in the last week of sports. So, I mean, hell, we even got Tuck.
Told you
Look
got his
at
haircut.
Tuck's got his haircut. He's rocking the green bandana.
It's got llamas on it.
Oh, yeah? Big
What's
llama
up,
guy.
Tuck?
Big llama guy, huh, Tuck? Tuck, I got a question for you. Are you from the West?
I'm fine in the West.
He's not fine.
In the West. He's fine.
He
He said Josh's not fine though.
All right, thank you guys for checking out the podcast. Oh, as always, do you guys have anything you want to add before we roll out of here?
Go Pistons.
Oh yeah.
Seems to normally have. Here's a drive to deep center. Varsho back. And did he catch that ball? Yes. He caught that ball.
How about that fucking catch?
What a catch!
Hey, you
The last thing I expected to
again.
happen on that one.
You want to see it again?
Seems to normally have. Here's a drive to deep center. Varsho back. And did he catch that?
Now, what if
That
I told
motherfucker did
you?
that shit on purpose.
Now, what if I told you
Catch.
guys that was actually Jacob Donnellan in high school before his knees went out? And that's all we have for today's podcast.
Yeah, what he said.
Thank you guys for watching the pod. We appreciate you. Check
Nobody
us out on the
believes that shit.
socials. At Ride the Tide 586 over on X, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitch, on all the social media platforms. We appreciate you guys. Check us out next time, next Wednesday, when we are live at 6 o'clock. Hit the bell for notifications so you'll know when we are live. Thank you guys for checking us out. We appreciate you. I'm McDilly. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Peace.